everyone, welcome back to my channel. In this video I'm going to be sharing with you some meal ideas, some family friendly meal ideas, but also the meals that Arthur, who is my 2-year-old toddler, will for sure eat. There are some meals which are the ones I'm going to show you where he does really well. So these are all family friendly meals, so you can all enjoy them. It doesn't have to be anything special for your toddler, and they're also all pretty quick and simple and easy to make. All of these meals are also vegetarian, so we are vegetarian. Matt does eat chicken and fish, so he might have like slight alternatives. And just for an added bonus, I think most of these you can batch cook. So if you wanted to cook a really big portion and then just, you know, put little portions in containers or whatever, and you can put them in the fridge and freezer, and that means you've kind of got really easy meals for whenever you want them. You can just pop them out of the freezer. So I really hope that you enjoy this video. If you like this kind of thing, then I have done a couple of what we eat, which is what me and Arthur eat in a day. I've also done some meal ideas and meals of the week videos as well. So do make sure you are subscribed. I post lots of motherhood and lifestyle content really. So I'd love to have you here, and I really hope that you enjoy hearing these meals. If you try any out, do let me know. The first one that I'm going to show you is a chili, and I just want to say that it's probably not a chili as you know it, because I mean, firstly, I haven't cooked one for ages, and then someone suggested it to me, and basically the reason I never done one is I knew that I liked them, but Matt doesn't like red kidney beans or mushrooms. So I was kind of thinking they're kind of the like staples that you put in a chili. But then I just thought, well, maybe we should just try it. Obviously do it without, do it a bit differently. So yes, the chili that I cooked maybe is a bit different, but it's very simple. But yeah, I really hope that you enjoy this video, and let's get into it. So firstly, I'm just chopping up the onions, and we always tend to go with red onions, so I just kind of fairly finely chop some of those. I usually use about 3/4 of onions, something like that, depends how large they are. And then I'm just weighing out the rice, and we always use brown rice or whole grain rice for us, and then we just do white rice for Arthur, but obviously to be quick you could just do one rice for all of you, of course. So yeah, I'm just adding the water in there and getting that on the boil, because our rice does take the longest. And then I just get on with making the actual kind of chili mix. So I'm just starting off by frying the onions. If you want to be really quick, you could actually just put the onions in without frying them, but I am frying them tonight. And yeah, obviously I'm just showing you the different rices there. Then I use the callo vegetable stock. As I say, we are vegetarian, so there is a very low salt callo stock cube, but I think for some reason the shop didn't have it or something like that, so that's why we've got that one instead. And then I'm just using some soya mince. That is just a supermarket one, but you can find, I think pretty much every supermarket does their own make now. So you could also use lentils instead of mince, or as well as if you like as well. So once the onions are kind of browned off, they've been frying it for a few minutes, I just add in the mince. If you want, by the way, to know kind of measurements and stuff, do let me know and I can kind of add this in. But yeah, and then I just pour in a bit of the stock just to kind of give it a bit more mixture. Our saucepans aren't non-stick, so I kind of have to keep it fairly wet. So I'm just showing you the spices there. I think I did actually show coriander twice, but I do only put it in once. And then yeah, obviously the turmeric as well. So I kind of just bung it in really. I don't really measure it. I probably do it slightly different every time, but you kind of get the idea. And then I put in 1 whole can of chopped tomatoes and just give that a stir. And it's kind of a fairly good consistency there, but I will put a bit more stock in later as well, just to kind of give it a bit more flavour and kind of make sure that it's not too tomatoey, if that makes sense. Then it is time to put on Arthur's white rice, and as I say, I'm just adding some more of that stock in. So obviously it's got a lot more like liquidy, but over time obviously some of that will evaporate, so it's not too runny. And then I'm just putting on some broccoli to boil as well, and that is for Arthur. Then I've got a pepper, and again, I mean, Matt, my husband, kind of, he doesn't mind a pepper, but he'd rather it wasn't in it, so I actually just did it separately. So I'm just giving Arthur some of that raw, as you can see. I don't know whether you can tell, I have actually kind of just mashed up a bit of broccoli, and I've just mixed that in with his chili mixture, and he didn't notice that and ate it, which is good. And so this is what ours looks like as well. But sometimes I do serve it with a bit of cheese. I did run out when I was filming this, so I just use that nutritional yeast on mine. You could actually stir that into your child's as well, but that's the chili. The next meal that I want to show you is pasta. So I have shown this on a previous video, so now I'm repeating myself, but it's just a real kind of staple of ours. So we tend to mix up, so sometimes we do just like a mince, or sometimes we do half lentils and half mince mixture, which is what I'm showing you today, just because lentils are really great. They're really nutritious. They've got iron, they've got protein, they're just really good for you. So it's kind of good to have lentils, and they kind of also, you can't really notice them in the mixture, so that's really good as well. So as I said before, you could fry onions with this, but actually I don't always fry them, just because I don't want to have all of our meals with like fried stuff in, and it's a lot quicker as well, or a bit quicker, and it really is just one pot pasta, this one. So I've got in some onions there, I've got the mince in, and then I'm just adding a tin of chopped tomatoes and also some passata, and then I'm cooking the lentils in a separate saucepan, which you will see, or you did see hopefully. So I'm just giving that all a stir, and it's just really simple and quick, this one to make. So then I'm just doing pasta, and again we have brown pasta and Arthur has white usually. Sometimes we just give him ours, again because it's quicker, but yeah, sometimes we just give him white. It kind of depends how much we think he's going to eat. He does eat a bit more recently actually, but yeah, he does really well with this meal in general. So into like the sauce mixture, I just add garlic, and again, don't measure it, I just put quite a lot in, and I think Arthur does tend to like it quite flavourful, I think. And then also some mixed herbs, or sometimes we've got Italian herbs. Occasionally I just put in a bit of black pepper. I don't use that often, but because I wasn't frying the onions, I just thought it might give it a little bit more flavour, so I'm just adding a tiny bit of pepper too. So just giving that a stir, and usually mince probably takes about 15 minutes or so, so this is honestly really quick. The lentils do take a bit longer, so obviously if you were kind of really pushed for time, just stick with the mince mixture, and then the pasta obviously can boil kind of at the same time. And yeah, it's just really quick and easy. So on this day again, sorry, we're serving broccoli again, and yeah, as you can see, if you do need a bit more kind of ruddiness to your mixture, just add a bit more passata as you go. I just don't put it all in at once because I don't want it too runny either. So just to save time and save saucepans, then I just put the broccoli in with the pasta, and that's just, I think, just like a quick easy way, because we're doing lentils, we've only got like 4 hob rings anyway, so yeah, it's a space saver as well. So that is what my hob is looking like. I've got the 2 pastas, the lentils, and then also the mixture there too. So the lentils do stay, I don't know if it's the same on everyone's, I assume so, it just state to rinse them off after. So I'm just pouring some boiling water over them, and then I just mix that in with the rest of the mixture, and yeah, they kind of like, you don't really notice it, so yeah, it's really good. And I think, yeah, it's just handy to have lentils. I think they're really good. So if you were like batch cooking this and wanted to freeze it, you might just want to do the mixture, but I actually do prefer this mixed in, because Arthur really likes the pasta element. So obviously when it's all mixed in, he picks up the pasta and he ends up picking up obviously the rest of the mixture as well, which is kind of where all the nutrients are really. So yeah, mixed all in. Again, if it's a bit dry, you can just put in a bit more passata if you need to. So I just stir that through, maybe just for like 2 or 3 minutes really. So yeah, that is that, and then I'll just serve that with a bit of cheese as well, and we have exactly the same. And then I wanted to show you a really quick pasta, which we tend to do for lunch really, but I just thought it was just worth showing you. So literally I bung pasta in a saucepan with some frozen peas. When it's cooked, all I do is literally stir in a couple of spoonfuls of hummus. I know there are kind of much more complex and probably more interesting ways of doing hummus pasta, but this is just, it sounds so simple, but sometimes you don't think of the simple ones always, so I thought it was just worth sharing with you. Arthur really likes this. Obviously it's not too dry because you've got the hummus in there, Hummus, again, is obviously made from chickpeas, so it's really good, really nutritious. Served with a bit of cheese. I got some tomatoes. Sometimes I put in like some like corn slices or something like that as well for him and us. And yeah, he really loves it. He always does very well with this meal, so I thought it was just worth putting that in this video. And then the final meal that I want to show you is shepherd's pie, or what is our take on it, like a simple version. And I always kind of call it a deconstructed one because it doesn't go in the oven after. So firstly, I've just chopped up some potatoes and put them on to boil. Again, I'm using some soy mince, and again, you could obviously use lentils or something as well. And then I've got the stock cube, the same cali ones like I showed you before. I'm just using a whisk there to try and get rid of some of the lumps, because I think it was a bit like, maybe it got a bit, I don't know, it was a bit squished together. So once again, I'm using onions, so you can see why I don't always want to fry them, because I do use them in a few meals. Not to say that I'll have all of these meals in 1 week necessarily, but we do use onions like a couple of times at least a week. So yes, I'm putting them in there. I'm not frying them this time, and I usually add like around half a can of chopped tomatoes, but I try to do more of the tomatoes and not too much of the juice, if that makes sense. And then I'm just pouring in some of the stock mixture there. So again, this is a very kind of simple way really. So I'm just putting in some mixed herbs, and that's it. I don't put in any other seasoning. And yeah, just stirring that through. Again, like I say, it takes around 15 minutes. Obviously, if it's a bit longer, that's fine, because it lets everything infuse a bit more. Then I usually just serve it with carrots, so I've got that on my hob as well. And then also some frozen broccoli, and then some peas too. Now, I like my food quite like wet. I like sauces, so I do actually have a bit of extra gravy. You don't necessarily need it, but yeah, I find that that's kind of better for me, and we do give a little bit extra for Arthur as well. That gravy, by the way, is quite low salt, so that is good. It's just you kind of need to watch out for these sorts of things. So when the potatoes are boiled, I mash them up and then just put some butter with it. I just always do that when I do mashed potato for Arthur. I just add a lot of butter so it's not too dry, and then yeah, just dish it all up, kind of pile it all on top of each other. Like I say, it's a bit different because obviously usually you'd put it all in a dish and put it in the oven, but yeah, it's obviously saves on time. It's like half as long really. So that is my take on shepherd's pie, and that concludes the toddler meals. So I really hope that you enjoyed it. Please subscribe if you enjoy this type of thing, and please let me know if you enjoy it as well, because I could do more videos like this. And thanks for watching. I'll see you soon. Bye everyone.